There are 5 hidden body locations that are responsible for senior odor problems, and 99% of people fail to clean them. Could you be surprised to learn that the majority of elderly people are unaware of the origin of their body odor? When we take a bath, we have a tendency to concentrate on the regions that are most noticeable to us, such as our arms, underarms, feet, and private parts. On the other hand, the forgotten spots, which are the concealed creases and folds where sweat, dead skin, and bacteria quietly build up, are something that nearly no one has ever discussed. Furthermore, if these locations are not cleaned in an appropriate manner on a daily basis, they have the potential to produce a unique odor that can adhere to your clothing, your furniture, and even the air around you. When it comes to maintaining your body's dignity and confidence, as well as ensuring that it feels clean and appreciated, this is not simply about cleanliness. An excessive number of excellent people attribute the smell of aging to the process of aging itself, whereas in reality, a few locations that are neglected are responsible for the majority of the harm. This video is going to discuss 5 areas of your body that almost everyone forgets to clean, particularly as we get older. These areas are the areas that are going to be discussed. These are not the typical locations, rather, they are covert, concealed regions that are capable of retaining moisture and gradually developing into odor factories over time. And by the time you reach the conclusion of this film, you will have a complete understanding of what to do about them, how to clean them in a way that is gentle but thorough, and how to ensure that your natural aroma remains neutral and does not become embarrassing. Throughout your entire life, you have been very self-sufficient. No matter how old you are, you have the right to feel respectful, clean, and secure in yourself. Please stay with me until the very end because it is highly likely that you are skipping over one of these locations each time you take a shower. It's also possible that this is the reason why other people are noticing something that you are unable to smell yourself. Let's get down to business. The first place to look is the groin region and the inside thigh crease. When it comes to hygiene, it is one of the places of the body that is most frequently neglected, despite the fact that it is one of the most private and sensitive areas of the body. The groin and the crease that forms at the point where your thigh and torso connect. Because of the warm and damp environment, as well as the fact that it is frequently and securely covered by garments during the day, this region is an ideal setting for the accumulation of bacteria, sweat, and dead skin. As we get older, the skin in that area becomes more sensitive and thinner, but it also becomes more prone to drooping and folding, which contributes to the accumulation of even more moisture. Many people who are in their latter years wash their underarms and private parts with great care, but often forget to clean the crease that surrounds their groin, particularly the fold that is located where their inner thigh meets the base of their pelvis. Imagine someone like Harold, a man who was 75 years old and always took pride in his appearance when he was younger. Every day, he shaved, the clothes he wore were spotless, and he never left the house without a spritz of cologne. In spite of everything that was going on, he began to detect a faint stench that was unpleasant. Neither his breath nor his feet were the culprits by the time the day was over. It was something that he was unable to put his finger on. Sometime in the future, at a normal visit to the doctor, his physician inquired as to whether or not he was completely cleansing the area around the inner thigh crease. Harold exhibited astonishment. His assumption was that a simple rinse in the shower would be sufficient. Nevertheless, over the course of time, sweat, dead skin, and heat had generated an unseen buildup, which was located in that hidden fold that was the source of the stink. Even while the skin in this region is sensitive and prone to irritation, particularly in older people, this does not mean that it should be disregarded just because it is delicate. In point of fact, instead of receiving less attention, it requires more care because of how close it is to oil and sweat glands. Not to mention the friction that occurs when walking or sitting. It is possible for bacteria that cause odor to rapidly multiply if they are not controlled. And in certain instances, this might even result in rashes or fungal diseases. The good news is that scrubbing this region as hard as you would normally would not be necessary. Make use of a gentle washcloth or your own hand. In addition to warm water and a bar of mild soap, cleanse the crease that is formed by the intersection of your leg and your chest in a gentle manner. And make sure to rinse it well. After that, make sure the area is totally dry by patting it, especially before you put on your clothes. If you have a tendency to sweat or experience irritation, you might want to think about using a powder that does not contain talc or a cream that is mild and absorbs moisture in order to keep the region dry and comfortable throughout the day. Now is the moment to pay attention to this part of your body if you have never truly paid attention to it before. This is not merely a matter of smell, it's about taking care of oneself with dignity, respecting your own body, and making sure that every time you leave the house, you feel clean and secure in yourself. It is not uncommon for the smallest places to have the greatest impact, particularly the ones that are seldom brought up in conversation. The belly button and the navel crease come in at number 2. Although it is one of the smallest areas of your body, if you ignore it, it may become one of the dirtiest regions. The belly button, particularly the inward or deep kind, is a concealed pocket that collects lint, sweat, oil, and dead skin on a daily basis. This pocket is especially prone to accumulation. In addition, as we get older, the likelihood of our skin losing its tone increases. This results in deeper creases around the abdomen, which provides germs and moisture with additional locations to conceal themselves, in contrast to open regions of the skin, which are washed away by water running over them. The belly button is maintained in its hidden position. You might be astonished to learn that even though many elderly people have a bath every day, they nevertheless have an odor as a result of this minute cavity not being cleansed for several weeks. There are even instances in which there is a dark waxy deposit inside that becomes more solid over time. This buildup not only has an unpleasant odor, but it also has the potential to foster the growth of yeast or even mild illnesses. In addition, if your stomach is sagging even slightly, something that is totally natural with aging and folds directly under the navel can trap perspiration and moisture, particularly when the weather is warmer or when elastic waistbands are worn. There is a flourishing of odor there. Think about someone like Linda, a woman who was always diligent about her cleanliness, but she couldn't figure out why she kept experiencing an odd sour scent around lunchtime. Linda was 71 years old. In addition to her feet, she would examine her armpits and her clothing. When she went to the doctor for a checkup one day, she discovered that she had a slight fungal rash just behind her navel. However, nothing of this seemed to make sense. Because of a simple practice of avoiding that area while showering, the skin was pink, wet, and slightly irritated. This was the source of the skin condition. The news stunned her. She, like many other individuals, believed that the water would be sufficient to clean it on its own. However, water alone is not sufficient. It is necessary to use a gentle soap and warm water to cleanse the belly button and the crease that is located underneath it. You can use your finger or a soft towel to do this. After you are finished, pat it dry, and if necessary, add a small amount of talc-free powder or a mild drying spray to prevent moisture from building up there. If you have limited mobility or if you are unable to easily access it, you should ask for assistance. It is not something to be ashamed about, because if you overlook this area, the odor that it emits might linger with you throughout the day, even if you are wearing clean clothes. And it is one of the most typical reasons why older persons have a scent that others notice, even when everything else appears to be clean. Be careful not to undervalue this teeny tiny location. It might not seem like much, but if you give it the attention it requires, it can make a significant difference in how refreshed and confident you feel each day throughout the day. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Ear folds and the area behind the ears come in at number 3. Even though you might not think of your ears as a place where odors hide, this area of the body can become a surprising source of unpleasant odors for many people who are in their latter years. The folds of your outer ear, particularly the region just behind them, are similar to tiny ledges that are used for the collection of sweat, oil, and dead skin in a concealed manner. Over time, these folds have a tendency to become more pronounced, particularly in individuals who wear glasses or hearing aids, which generate a greater amount of pressure and retain a greater amount of moisture. In addition, the natural oils of the skin, which are referred to as sebum, are typically produced in larger concentrations behind the ears. This oil, when combined with sweat and germs, produces a greasy layer that has the potential to smell musty or sour with its presence. In addition, the majority of people, when they are in the shower, fail to remember to clean behind their ears. They wash their face, their neck, and possibly their hair, but they frequently forget to wash the area that is located directly at the base of the ear and all the way down to the jawline. After a long day, if you have ever rubbed your finger behind your ear and caught a scent of something nasty, then you are completely familiar with what I am referring to. The example of Walter, a retired school principal who is 76 years old, is available here. The fact that he always shaved, always wore clean clothes, and never left the house without cologne was something that he took great delight in maintaining clean appearance. On the other hand, his granddaughter once inquired as to the reason why he smelled odd when she hugged him. In the beginning, he was sore. After that, he began double-checking each and every step of his hygiene routine. After some time had passed, the individual casually noted that Walter had some flaky buildup between his ears while he was at his barbershop. Yes, that was it. Walter hadn't been in that region for a number of months. On his own, he simply expected that it would remain clean. The fact of the matter is, however, that particular area is a huge source of stink. It is of the utmost importance to maintain a clean and dry environment behind the ear, particularly for individuals who wear hearing aids, which can obstruct the flow of air and produce additional sweating behind the ear. Also, let's not overlook the earrings or jewelry that some individuals like to wear. These items can trap filth, especially if they're worn daily. Behind the ear is also one of the warmest locations on your body, meaning bacteria thrives there if it's not cleansed regularly. The solution is not complicated. After you have finished showering, take a moment to use a soapy cloth or your fingertips to give the area behind your ears a light scrape. After that, make sure to dry it slowly. In a matter of seconds, it is possible to eradicate one of the most common yet frequently missed sources of odor that is associated with senior citizens. It is imperative that you clean not only your ear but also the device itself if your hearing aid covers that particular location. Mainly due to the fact that when people notice a strange odor when hugging you or while sitting next to you, it frequently originates from that very spot, which is hidden from plain sight. Cleaning behind the ears may appear to be a trivial matter, nonetheless. It is precisely these seemingly insignificant actions that have the most impact on the way in which other people perceive their time spent in your presence. Always remember to keep it fresh, and your presence will become more pleasant and confident wherever you can go. The toenails and the flesh beneath them come in at number 4. When it comes to grooming elderly people, the toes, and more specifically the toenails and the skin underlying them, are one of the regions that receive the least amount of attention. Bending down becomes more difficult as we become older. The act of reaching your feet may require more work than it did in the past, particularly if you suffer from conditions such as arthritis, back stiffness, or poor balance. There are a lot of elderly people who, as a result of this, neglect to properly care for their feet. However, here is the problem. It is impossible to avoid odor causing accumulation on your toenails. There is a possibility that dead skin, perspiration, and even minute particles of sock lint could become lodged beneath the nail. Take into account the presence of moisture, and you will have created the ideal conditions for the growth of fungi and bacteria. What is the end result? No matter how clean the rest of your body is, you will always be able to detect a pungent odor that can sometimes be sour. I remember a man named Gerald who was 81 years old and took great satisfaction in the fact that he had a shower every day and dressed in a sharp manner. However, his daughter observed that whenever she assisted him with his shoes, there was a potent stink that permeated the entire room. Gerald was perplexed by the situation. Daily, he would take a bath. However, it was not until they went to see a podiatrist that the issue became apparent. Over the course of several months, his toenails had not been cleansed beneath the surface. Underneath them, the skin was discolored, mushy, and exuding a scent that was not originating from the socks or shoes, but rather from the nails themselves. In the long run, such kind of accumulation does more than just smell. It becomes a threat to one's health. Infectious diseases can be caused by both bacteria and fungi. In addition, if these difficulties are not treated, they may have an impact on circulation and healing, particularly in elderly people who have diabetes or vascular problems. It is not safe to assume that your feet are clean beneath the nails, even if they appear to be in good condition on the surface. As we walk, we notice that our feet sweat. Because of this, moisture is unable to escape from between the toes and under the nails. In addition, as we get older, our toenails become thicker, making it even more difficult to see what is going on underneath them. It is possible for fungus to grow without causing any discomfort. In addition, the odor is frequently the first warning indication that it causes, even before it causes itching or discoloration. The good news is that you do not need to become a contortionist in order to maintain the cleanliness of your feet. At least once or twice a week, use a toothbrush or nail brush with soft bristles to gently scrub the area surrounding and under the nails. If you are unable to reach your feet in a comfortable manner, you should talk to a trusted member of your family or seek the assistance of a foot care specialist. Also, after each shower, make sure that your feet are thoroughly dry, paying particular attention to the space between your toes. Remember to take care of your footwear as well. It is possible for the smell to accumulate and be transferred back to your feet if you wear the same shoes every day without allowing them to air out first. You should switch your shoes whenever you can. If necessary, apply foot powder or sprays to your feet. In order to eliminate bacteria, you should also properly wash your socks, preferably with hot water. When we take care of our feet, we are not only demonstrating a respect for our own comfort and well-being, but also for the fact that our feet are the ones that carry us through life. Healthy, clean feet not only smell better but also feel better, and they help prevent slips and infections, both of which grow more harmful as people get older. Therefore, the next time you walk into the shower, make sure to give your feet the attention they need, because the odor that accompanies you could be originating from below. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. There are 5 folds that are located behind the knees. After that, there is one additional region that almost no one discusses, yet it plays a significant part in the development of body odor as we get older. The folds that are located directly behind your knees. The majority of people either wash their legs too quickly or completely ignore the wrinkled, soft skin that is located on the back of their legs. However, here is the reality. Because it is a warm and enclosed space, it is an ideal location for the concealment of sweat, bacteria, and even leftover soap residue. However, when all of these things come together, they produce an unpleasant odor that stays with you for a considerable amount of time after you have dried off and dressed. Take into consideration the way in which your body functions when you are seated for extended periods of time, particularly with your knees bent. At the back of the knees, the skin continues to be crushed. If this is the case, then there will be less air circulation, more moisture, and a perfect pocket for bacteria that cause odor to grow in. You have a formula for discomfort and odor if you include things like lotion or powder that might not be completely removed from the area. There are a lot of elderly people who have difficulty reaching back there while they are showering because of movement concerns or joint discomfort. A number of individuals avoid bending because they are afraid of falling. The majority of people believe that a simple rinse is sufficient. Nevertheless, a fast rinse will not be sufficient to eliminate the filth and bacteria that are trapped in the folds over time. While I was younger, I remember a woman named Judy who was 76 years old and complained that she felt clean but noticed a musty smell while going to change her clothes. In an effort to determine the cause of the problem, she had switched detergents, increased the frequency with which she washed her towels, and even started applying deodorant to her feet. On the other hand, her nurse pointed out in a sensitive manner that the back of her knees were slightly discolored and damp to the touch during the course of her inspection. Over the course of time, the accumulation of the buildup caused an unpleasant odor and even a slight irritation. She had not been washing that area completely. Judy was able to totally eliminate the odor within a short period of time once she started using a gentle cloth to scrub behind her knees and then patting them dry afterward. Scrubbing this area of your body with abrasive techniques is not necessary. When you take your daily shower, a warm washcloth and a small amount of soap can do wonders for your skin. Consistency is the most important factor. Have it become a habit, and make it a point to dry that area completely at all times. If you want to avoid having a body odor, moisture is your worst enemy. If reaching gets too tough, you can always perform a fast-sitting wash using a moist towel or bathing wipe. This is something you can accomplish even if your shower is only a few minutes long. It is also possible to find long-handled scrubbers that are made specifically for elderly people and that make cleaning regions that are difficult to access safer and easier. Modifications of this nature can go a long way toward enhancing your sense of self-assurance, cleanliness, and refreshment. Additionally, keep in mind that there is not a single evident source of body odor. In most cases, it is a combination of little, unnoticed places that, when brought together, produce a perfume that is recognizable. As a result, paying attention to concealed areas such as the back of the knees might make a significant impact in the whole process. Someone should not have to worry about odor when it can be addressed with something as simple as an additional few seconds of care. You have the right to be comfortable in your own skin, and no one should have to worry about odor. Next morning, please take a moment to yourself. Make an effort to pay attention to the areas that are easy to overlook, because there are times when the smallest things have the most significant impact. Lastly, some thoughts. Now that we have found these 5 secret areas, you should take a minute to think about your personal routine. Do you have any areas that you have been neglecting without even realizing it? The vast majority of us do not intend to ignore these locations. The pace of life quickens. Routines emerge, and there are times when we come to believe that a fast shower is sufficient to cover everything. On the other hand, the reality is that even seemingly insignificant flaws in our hygiene, particularly as we get older, might have a greater influence than we realize. As soon as you are aware of what to look for, the good news is that you will be able to simply solve it. Taking care of yourself involves more than just maintaining a clean appearance. Having self-assurance, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and giving your body the respect and attention it deserves are all important aspects. All of these hidden places, whether they are located behind your ears or under your feet, contribute to the overall freshness that you experience on a daily basis. In addition, if you make it a habit to address them, you will not only smell better, but you will also be able to walk through the world with significantly more ease and pride. So, what are some of the following steps you can take? Take baby steps. During your regular washing procedure, Include one or two of these places. In the event that reaching is difficult, you might want to keep a mild washcloth or a sponge with a long handle accessible. Don't forget to dry everything completely as well. Moisture is one of the most significant contributors to scents that persist for an extended period of time. After some time has passed, these minute modifications will become automatic. Not only will you feel better, but everyone around you will begin to notice as well. If you want to improve the way you take care of yourself, it is never too late to do so. Small, deliberate actions like these are a part of what helps us age with grace and dignity no matter how old we get. Therefore, keep this in mind the next time you are in the shower. The difference between feeling clean and feeling annoyed could be as little as one extra wipe away. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.